welcome to the Rugby League History channel. Tonight's video is going to be my semi-final predictions and preview for the 2022 Betfred Super League season. Last week we had the two eliminators games, now we're in the semi-finals. The winner of these two matches goes into the grand final, which will be played next Saturday there at Old Trafford. So let's start off with the first match, which is between Wigan and Leeds. This one's being played at the DW Stadium, 8 o'clock kickoff, and it's live on Sky Sports. Wigan had the week off, and with Leeds they had to go in that eliminator against Catalan Dragons there. They come out on top there over at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Very ill-tempered match, but they got the job done, and now they face Wigan. So for Wigan, a stat about them going into this match, they haven't lost a game at home for the entire year. So they've got a perfect 100% record at the DW Stadium, and some of their performances at home this year have been simply brilliant, especially that match against Hull FC there where Bevan French got 7 tries. As for Leeds, it's a bit of a miracle story, to be fair, because as I wrote down here, in round 10 they were 11th on the table. Of course, they got shot of Richard Agar, and in his place they got Brian Smith's son, and as he's taken over, they've won 11 of their last 16 matches under Rowan Smith, and they found themselves in the playoff places. For this game, they're still going to be without Reece Martin. I think I did read somewhere that the Leeds club were trying to get the ban overturned, but unfortunately for them, it still didn't work. So Reece Martin's going to miss this game, which is a massive out for them. And with Wigan, they're missing Cade Custard, as I like to call him, and Liam Farrell as well. These two sides have met twice in the year already. Round 2, Wigan won 34 points to 12. In round 20, Wigan were beaten by Leeds 42 points to 12. Another sort of interesting thing coming into this game is you had Zach Hardacre, who walked out on Wigan. He found himself back at Leeds there, and he's playing this week. So it'll be interesting to see what the Wigan supporters and players do to Zach Hardacre every time he runs the ball up. For this match though, I'm going to go for the safe bet, and I'm going to go for the logical bet. I'm going to go for Wigan to win. I don't think it'll be a walkover for them. I think Leeds will give them a really hard game, but in the end I think Wigan will just be too strong. So I think I'll go for Wigan to win 1-12 there on the Friday. Second semi-final comes to us on Saturday. This one is between St Helens and Salford. It's a 1 o'clock in the afternoon kickoff, live from Langtree Park, aka the Totally Wicked Stadium, and it's been shown on Channel 4 and Sky. So with St Helens, as we all know, they're the League Leaders Shield winners. They had the week off. For Salford, they had to play against Huddersfield away from home, and they beat them 28 points to 0. So they handed Huddersfield the big fat donut there. These two sides have met twice in the regular season. Round 11, St Helens won that 14 points to 10, and then in round 21, Salford beat St Helens 44 points to 12 in one of the upsets of the season. St Helens go into this match having lost only one match at home for the entire year. So similar to Wigan with the DW Stadium, St Helens have made the Totally Wicked Stadium a fortress this year, and their only loss come against Wakefield Trinity right towards the back end of the year. With Salford as well, it's a very similar story to Leeds. So on June the 26th, round 16, Salford was sat 9th on the table. They beat Wakefield Trinity 74 points to 10, and then they've proceeded to win the 8 of the last 11 matches, including the win over Huddersfield to book this semi-final place. And along the way, they've beaten St Helens, as I just mentioned, 44-12. Catalans 46 points to 14. Castleford 50 points to 10, and Huddersfield, as I just mentioned as well, 28 points to 0. For Salford, they've been dealt some really bad news with Brodie Croft being ruled out, the star scrum half. He's played in literally every game that they're featured in this year. It's going to be really interesting to see how Salford go without their scrum half and one of their star players in Brodie Croft. For St Helens, massive blow for them as well, with Alex Walmsley being ruled out for the rest of the year and the World Cup campaign. But apparently Percival's coming back, Hopewati's 50-50, and Sione Matauti is coming back as well, so that'll be a boost for St Helens. Another thing about these two sides, especially when it comes to the playoffs. For St Helens, when it comes to playoff experience, grand final experience, doing it at the business end of the year, they've got right through the squad, they've got players that are very experienced, been there, done that. With Salford's, not so much. Of course, you got Callum Watkins, who, as we all know, won all those trophies with Leeds. Ken Seo did play in a grand final in 2019 for Salford. Elijah Taylor played in the grand final over in Australia in 2011 for the New Zealand side against Manly. Tim Laffey's played in an NRL grand final as well. And Brodie Croft, if you were playing, he's played in a couple of finals matches for Melbourne, including the grand final. But besides that, if you look at the two sides, St Helens have way more experience when it comes to this time of the year. Another thing that I thought I'd bring up, I just researched just before I did the video, was that in 2019, Salford pretty much had their best year since you could probably say the 1970s when they last won the championship. And they come third that year, but it's eerily similar how they made the grand final that year. Because in 2019, after round 17, they were 9th on the table. They ended up finishing third that year, and they won 8 games straight in that process to come third. And in the semi-final, guess what the score was? 22-0 over Castleford. So very similar runs to the playoffs and very similar wins in the playoffs to get to the semi-final. It's going to be really hard to see where this match is going to go, because St Helens this year have only really conceded throughout the entire year, on average about 10 to 12 points a game. And Salford is such a free attacking, a free flowing side, so it's going to be, I think, a lot of attack meets defence in this game. As I'm a St Helens fan, I will go for St Helens to win 1-12. I don't think it's going to be an easy match at all. I think Salford's going to throw everything at us. They got now to lose. There's a grand final place on the line there. Deep down, I have a kind of a feeling that I wouldn't be surprised if Salford win, because they've got that momentum coming from the Huddersfield game. But I'm just going for St Helens because, number one, they're my team. Number two, they've been there, done that before. And number three, it's at home, and the defence has been quite good throughout the year. So that's my tips for the semi-finals this week. I'm going for Wigan and St Helens. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know who you think is going to progress to the grand final next week. Anyways, this has been Rugby League History. I'll catch us all later in the next one. Tatty bye for now.